them be able to accelerate the growth in autopilot and accelerate the transition to electric vehicles, which helps accelerate things like solar and all that. But electric vehicles are just fun. They're high performance, and they do well from a cost standpoint. When you see that from a cost standpoint, they're very low in depreciation because they don't have as many moving parts that are going to wear down and break over time. So used car values are very high. So low depreciation. Right now the Model 3, Carvana is selling a Model 3 with 13,000 miles, and they're selling it for the same price as a new one. And that just shows that one, they're in high demand, but also that they just don't appreciate at the same scale. And even when you look at the Model S and X that have been around much longer, they depreciate far less compared to other cars of their type. So with the Model Y, the Tesla's going up against other luxury crossovers, but also they'll be going up against non-luxury crossovers. With the Model 3, it is technically a luxury vehicle, but it's what they found is that 62% of trade-ins for the Model 3 have been from non-luxury vehicles. So vehicles like the Honda Civic and the Toyota Camry and Toyota Prius. So there's been a lot of non-luxury trade-ins to get the Model 3. So people are stretching up in price to get the Model 3. What's interesting is, even though there's a big price difference between Model 3 and Toyota Camry, what they found is that the total cost of ownership of a Model 3 is actually lower. So when you buy a car, you're actually agreeing to pay the whole cost of ownership. You're not just paying the upfront price, you're also paying for fuel, you're paying for maintenance, insurance, and you're also financially affected by how much money you're going to get for it when you're done owning it, when you want to change cars. So all of these factors are critical in the total cost for you to own a vehicle, and really surprised me when it was found that the Tesla Model 3 beats Toyota Camry on a total cost of ownership basis. So when I'm changing lanes, what I've been doing on this drive is I've been using the turn signal, which is on the left side. I've been using that to tell it when to change lanes. Right now I'm going to switch over to another road and head down Meridian. There's some interesting road here. So I'm switching roads, so the autopilot's still on. And we're going to be turning left. It's going to want to stop for traffic control. I'm going to override it here so people behind me don't get mad or anything. I'm going to have it drive itself again. So here's my two hands. I'm going to change lanes. And from a safety standpoint, you don't have a big engine right in front of you. You have a motor that's under you, and it's under your feet or right around where your feet would be. And what they found is that Tesla has the lowest probability of injury in a crash, just because of the electric motors, but also how they design the car, and there's plenty of things that can bend before it compromises the vehicle cabin. So what we're doing is we're heading toward Meridian. We're gonna head south, which is this way, and it has some interesting bus lanes, and it's got dotted lines for the car to follow it, and it does a really good job following that. And it's also got quite a few lights to test the traffic control on. So I hope you like this video. If you found this to be useful, go ahead and give a like. I will be doing some more videos about the Model Y. The camera I'm using right now is a 360 camera, so I may do some of these stoplight videos with the 360 camera. Sometimes the Tesla gets a little hung up on how the road looks, and it might alert you or it might slow down. So things aren't perfect yet, but it's getting better with each improvement. This feature that I'm trying out was a free update to the car. Right now my car is on LTE, but it'll hook into your Wi-Fi. You give it your home's Wi-Fi password, and then it could download the updates, and it takes about 25 minutes for an update. You're in total control when you decide to do an update. So if you're in the middle of a trip, you don't have an update, but when you bring it home at night, turn off for a second, make this turn. When you bring it home at night, you plug in the power. Takes 5 seconds to do that, and if an update's ready, you can have it do an update, or you can have it do an update while you're at work and the car's in the parking lot. So on the left over here is a bus lane. It's only for the bus, and it's a mass transit thing that Indianapolis is doing. I think it's been working well. I'm not sure. I don't follow the local news a whole lot, but I do see more folks using this than before. They do have busing in Indianapolis that helps people get out to where large employers are. So all I did there, we were fully stopped. Oh, it's tricked out again. We were fully stopped, and I just hit the accelerator, and then it just starts to go. And it knows to go fast, and it kind of accelerates like a normal car would. Doesn't try to gun it or anything like that. So we're going to confirm to proceed. Up ahead there'll be some, the lanes will change a little bit, and you'll see that it does a pretty good job with that. What the autopilot doesn't do well is, okay, here we got a yellow light. I didn't hit confirm already, so it's gonna stop. Is if you're on like a 2-lane road that's marked and you have autopilot on, one, that's not an ideal road right now for autopilot, but if you do it anyways, it's not very good at sharp turns, and again, it doesn't do turning at intersections. You have to take control and do the turning. But eventually what they're doing is they're collecting all this data for intersections, and you won't have to confirm what you want it to do at an intersection, it'll just do it for you. And it's totally optional. You can turn it off completely. You don't have to do autopilot at all. If you love driving and you're convinced that that's the best use of your energy, and it's not stressful whatsoever, I might argue with you a little bit on that, but if you feel all that, you can drive it yourself and you still have all the benefits of driving an electric car. You have the performance, you have the convenience, you got the safety. It's just a lot of fun. I don't ever think about how full is my gas tank. I don't need to worry about that because it doesn't use gas. It's filled up every morning when I get in, and it's pretty cool. Got full control of the car. Not full control, but on the phone app, there's lots of different things you could do with the car. You can have it run the climate. So there's a little uncertain, so I just